Hello and welcome to a new tier list video. Definitive tier list. This tier list is definitive because it is the only right tier list in the entire world, and anyone else who makes a tier list will objectively be wrong if they disagree with this definitive tier list. Today I'm going to be taking a look at all of the DC movies that I have seen. So this is not every DC movie. This is just the ones I have seen. I'm going to start with the DCEU movies. Those are the new ones started by Zack Snyder. And then I'm going to go into just random movies that I've seen, the ones I could remember. So let's start off with the first DCEU movie, Man of Steel. I guess before I start actually, a warning that I don't like a lot of these DCEU movies. I don't think a lot of them are very good. So they'll probably get some bad ratings. That being said, I prefer DC to Marvel. I'm just hard on them because I love them, you know what I mean? It's like, I know you can do better, DC. You can do better than this. So without further ado, let's give this a shot. I'm going to start with Man of Steel. And you know what? Man of Steel is not the worst movie ever. But it's not the best, and you could do a lot better for a Superman movie. A few things about this movie that put it in C tier for me is that it just doesn't feel like a Superman movie. Superman's very wooden and sort of a downer. I don't like the message of the story either. His dad throughout the movie is kind of telling him, don't let people know you have superpowers. You don't have any responsibility to anyone, which is sort of the opposite of a typical superhero movie. Typically, the superhero's father figure will be like, with great power comes great responsibility, like Uncle Ben. So it was just kind of an odd message. And then the wanton destruction, for which this film was heavily criticized, didn't help either. It was fun to see Superman in action, like him actually fighting using his superpowers. But I feel they might have overdone it a little bit. Yeah, there's just certain scenes that I think ruin the film. Mainly, I think my problem is with his father. His father dies in the stupidest way possible. In the original movie, his father dies of a heart attack, and it sort of teaches Superman a lesson. Oh, I can't save everyone, no matter how powerful I am.
Oh no. All those things I can do. All those powers. And I couldn't even save him.
And that's an important lesson for him to learn. In this one, his dad dies in a tornado saving a dog so he doesn't reveal his superpowers. It's really, really stupid, and problems like that just put it in C tier for me. Enjoyable for its action, but not great overall. Next up, probably one of my least favorite movies of all time, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. I'm gonna have to dump that right in the F tier garbage bin. Now, this movie broke me when I saw it. I knew right from the title, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Awful title. I mean, what is going on here? Who came up with this title? Zack Snyder? And then it didn't get any better when I saw a sad Ben Affleck meme. And then once the trailers came out, I knew I was in for a rough viewing of this movie. Main problems I have with this movie is Lex Luthor is awful. I mean, Jesse Eisenberg miscast. I'm sorry, Jesse Eisenberg, you're a good actor, but you were miscast in this role. On top of that, Batman acts very uncharacteristically in this movie. He's wielding guns, he's driving over people in the Batmobile, he's literally minigunning people down. And on top of all that, he is literally trying to kill Superman with a spear. Never in my life would I have imagined that in a movie with Batman and Superman, Batman would be trying to kill Superman with a spear. And the only thing that stops him is that him and his mom have the same name. When I was really little, I was, doing my Batman reading or whatever, and I noticed, I was like, oh, Superman and Batman's mom is the same name. Wow, interesting. Who would have thought that in their first major on-screen adaptation together, That would be the crux of the plot. Not me, not 8-year-old me, I'll tell you that. So really just a bizarre movie. Plot doesn't make any sense, overly long. Action, not even that great, except for the Batman warehouse scene, which is pretty sick, except for the parts where he is mowing people down with machine guns and blowing people up with guns and grenades and stabbing someone and smashing their heads against the wall and their skull cracks open and they die. Call me old-fashioned, but I don't want my Batman to be a murdering psychopath, because then he can just kill all his villains and there's no point in him doing any good. Alright, I've talked enough about this one, so let's move on. Though that one's probably going to get the biggest, the most analysis, because that one pisses me off the most. So next we're going to go into Suicide Squad. And I'll tell you what, people hated Suicide Squad. To me, it's unoffensive. I don't love any of these characters to the point where a poor adaptation will be heart-wrenching to me. You know what I mean? I like Harley Quinn, I like Deadshot, I like Margot Robbie, and I like Will Smith. And I think they did a pretty good job. Made a pretty interesting action movie. The action scenes are pretty good. Joker sucked. Jared Leto's Joker, I'm not about it. And I think the main problem with this film is the main bad guy was just weird for a Suicide Squad. You think they would have done some sort of stealth or heist mission, but instead they're fighting a magical monster. It just, to me, it doesn't fit the Suicide Squad's typical MO. And I think that's where they missed the mark here. I liked most of the characters. Some of them were lame, like that dude who climbed Slipknot, who just immediately died. But you're going to have your lame characters. I thought Killer Croc was kind of bad too. It just wasn't, it was a bland movie. It was fun for some action scenes, but overall, it didn't do anything special. And that's why I'm just going to put it right in C tier. Now, Wonder Woman. So people really enjoyed Wonder Woman. And if I'm being honest, I think it's kind of overrated. I didn't think it was that good. The third act was pretty bad. I mean, she just fought Ares, who was a guy with a mustache. I thought he looked really silly. Wonder Woman's powers are really undefined. Like, I'm not sure if she can fly, but at points she can fly. Then what, can she be hurt by bullets, or does she have to block them? She clearly has super speed and super strength, but to what extent? You know what I mean? Like, all the fight scenes are, especially the fight scene where she comes out of no man's land, is really cool. But if she's bulletproof, why is she got to block them, you know? It's just, I think this movie's pretty good. There's great scenes like the no man's land scene and when she's fighting through the little village. But the third act really falls apart for me, and it brings this movie down from an A. So B tier is pretty good though, I think. All right, now we have Justice League. When I first saw it, what it felt like to me was course correction. Most of us know the story. Zack Snyder left due to family tragedy. And then Joss Whedon came in and finished it. And it just felt like, I think it was like an hour and a half, and it felt like, oh, you didn't like Batman v Superman? Well, oh, Superman's nice now. Oh, Superman's nice. Oh, he laughs with Cyborg. Ha ha ha.
My toes hurt. I don't even understand the physics of how my toes hurt.
Haha, Batman, oh, you thought he was a bad guy? No, no, he's a good guy now. Oh, and they're gonna come together and they're gonna save the day. Oh, and then Superman comes in at the end and just whoops the bad guy Steppenwolf and makes every other character useless. Really just a nothing movie. It's really a nothing movie. I like it better than Batman v Superman only because Batman v Superman broke my heart. Technically, it's probably a worse movie, but Batman v Superman, that ruined me for a bit. So that's why that's there. Next up is Aquaman, and there is a lot you could say about Aquaman. Now, Aquaman is sort of a world-traveling adventure, maybe Indiana Jones-esque with the superhero twist. The only problem is it never lives up to like an Indiana Jones, for example. It's really, what I will say about it is the fight scenes are really good looking. I actually like it better than Suicide Squad. The fight scenes look really good. The thing about Aquaman is that I'm going to show you a few clips that highlight why I actually enjoy part of this movie. The opening fight scene and the scenes that take place in Rome with Black Manta show just how fun kind of this movie can be when it's like doing the right thing. The action's really cool, and Aquaman looks really good in his final suit. But just the plot, it's really stupid. The villain's name is Ocean Master. I know it's not. I know that's in the comics, but it's just, it sounds really stupid. You know what I mean? It doesn't work on film so well. The underwater scenes look a bit janky to me. But overall, it's sort of an inoffensive action movie. It can drag on a little bit, gets a little boring, gets a little cheesy, bad dialogue, can be bad acting at times. The special effects are pretty incredible. The action scenes can be pretty exciting, but overall, pretty forgettable movie. And if you asked me to watch this one again, I'd probably say, no thanks. See you later, Aquaman. Next up, Shazam. Now, Shazam, I don't know if it's just me because people seem to like this movie, but really I had a bad time with this. This feels like a kid's movie, and I think it is a kid's movie. The kid's the main character, but it's just really stupid to me. The villain was a bald doofus. I don't even remember his plan. Like, what was he trying to do? Unleash the 7 deadly sins? Basically, this movie is Superman, but he's worse. And then at the end, all of his friends get superpowers too, and they beat up the bad guy, and it's all cool. Oh, we all have superpowers now, yeah. It just really was not engaging whatsoever, and to me, made for a very unenjoyable movie. I'm not looking forward to the future of this particular franchise, even if The Rock is involved. Sorry, Shazam. More like Shazadon't. Not great, but I'll get better. All right, here we go. Up next, we have Birds of Prey. Now, this one actually is probably my favorite one so far. Birds of Prey, I had no expectations going into it. I think that's the key for these movies, is if you have no expectations, you can't be hurt. Like when Batman v Superman, you're like, oh, this is Batman and Superman together at last. This will be a great movie. And it's not, and it breaks your heart. Then you cry for 3 days. But Birds of Prey, in the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn, another awful title, is just, who cares? Who cares what happens? I like Harley Quinn, but I don't really care what happens to her. I think it's a mistake to not include the Joker in this, but when your Joker is stupid idiot Jared Leto, I totally understand that decision. But overall, pretty good movie. Enjoyable action scenes. I actually kind of liked, the people criticize it for being like feminist, but it's kind of fun to have all the ladies beat up Ewan McGregor, who's just going so over the top as like a just disgusting, awful villain, Black Mask. So it's just a fun movie to me. And awful title. They should have called it Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. I think it would have done better. So just a pretty good movie to me, and I would watch that one again. Now, for another stinker. Wonder Woman 1984. Wonder Woman 1984 was so weird. If you're at all interested in, like, I'm going to put it ahead of Shazam. I'm going to put it ahead of Justice League. Now I'll put it behind Justice League. If you're at all interested in DC and stuff like that, Wonder Woman is just a weird movie. It relied on wishing as like a main mechanic. People used a wishing rock to get what they want. And I feel like whenever you do something like that, have like overpowered magic, it can just, the story devolves into a messy plot. Doesn't make any sense. And that's what happens here. The action's not particularly good. The CGI is not particularly good. The story makes no sense. And the only thing is Wonder Woman looks great. Gal Gadot looks great as Wonder Woman. She has some cool fight scenes. I don't need Steve Trevor to come back. He was useless. And spoilers, he dies again. And he's just gone. And it really, to me, I don't know why this was like a weird in-between cool movie. Like after Wonder Woman, before Justice League. It should have been modern day Wonder Woman doing her thing. I think that would have been a little bit better. Just not enjoyable, a mess of a movie. And, oh, you know what? I do like Pedro Pascal as a villain. He was a goofball villain, and he was kind of fun. So that's why I'm not putting it in the F tier, because this movie was not great. All right, well, there's all the DCEU movies, and this video is going on forever. So what I'm going to do is, this will be a part 1 of my DC tier list, the DCEU. Oh, hold on. I almost forgot. I just watched Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I'll tell you what, this is hard to say. Because I went into this movie, I was going to hate watch this one. I was going to say, you know what? This movie is going to be awful. Just like regular Justice League, but worse. Because now Zack Snyder's directing it. But I have to give him credit. This is the best DCEU movie. It just, everything made more sense. It was like a completely new movie. Everything made more sense. the characters got more time to shine. Cyborg, Flash, Wonder Woman in particular felt like way more fleshed out characters, and I really enjoyed specifically Cyborg and the Flash in this new movie. Batman still sucks. It's so hard for me to say because Batman's my all-time favorite character. But Ben Affleck as Batman is not it. This Batman is trash. In the final action scene, he's literally wielding a gun the entire time. Picks up an alien blaster and is just going ham. He looks like freaking Han Solo out there. So, characterization of Batman and Superman still not great. You know, Superman in the edgy suit. There's scenes that are overly long, like there's a part where a woman just sings while Aquaman goes in the water. And it's just because Zack Snyder thinks it looks cool. It doesn't look cool, but, you know, let him do his thing. You know, I don't know. I'll disagree with some of the things Zack Snyder does, but overall, action scenes great. Steppenwolf, major improvement. I like Darkseid in here, and it's 4 hours long, but it didn't feel like 4 hours long. I split it up into 2 sittings, but that's only because I started it at 2 a.m., and I really wanted to finish it, but it was 4:30 a.m., and I had to go to bed. So I finished it when I woke up the next morning. So that's the DCEU movies. I will complete my tier list in the next video. I appreciate everything you've done for me, you 11 subscribers that I have, most of them probably being friends and family. Cheers, like the show.